says it's not connecting. Hi, it's Ross Cook of the Center of Balance and Effective Communication. Welcome to the inaugural series of our Facebook Lives, which is kind of a blast, really. It's fall here in Boise, Idaho. Leaves changing, scraping windows in the morning. So what's that mean in your world? What does fall bring you? I know as an former elementary school teacher, and as a kid, holidays lasted a month, 2 months. I mean, Halloween and Thanksgiving were there forever. And we know inside our practice in the last 26 years, we've watched with people learning to change. There are times when cultural DNA just kind of pushes its way out onto you. Society is going in a direction and you get wrapped up in it. Plain and simple. You just get swarmed and you go along and all of a sudden you're feeling angst. You're not sure why you do. I know in cold weather climates all across the world when you have to prepare for winter. And so people get busy about this time of year, but then there is a kind of manageable stress that sort of just hits and makes us exhausted. What's really going on? I know personally in my practice, I always want to take a lot of time off in the fall. We've worked hard with clients through the spring and the summer, and I like to take a lot of time off in the fall, but it doesn't work that way because family holidays are coming, and you know what? You end up spending time with your families, and the families bring up more and more and more of the old discussions and the old challenges yet again. You know, you're still having arguments with brothers and sisters that were, you know, prime and ready when you were in the 8th grade. So those things get picked up. So fall is a time of transition. How do you make it work for you? Deepak Chopra a long time ago said that there are between 7 and 11 trillion electrical events happening and being encoded by your subconscious mind every second of your life. You have 60 trillion cells in your body, and 100,000 cells are living and dying and being replaced every minute of every day. So as you go into fall, remember what it was like in school? A lot of things happened. You went to school and maybe you had friends that were one kind of bunch of friends one year, and now people have grown and the relationships are different. There's that inevitable, unbelievable, lunchroom, you know, where what table you're going to sit at, where you're going to be, how are you going to fit in, how do you all those things re-vote at this time of year. We go into our past, those trillions and trillions of electrical events, those encodes, raise their hand and say, I know exactly what we're supposed to behave like in the fall. It's a time of trepidation and nervousness and new starts and challenges, and all these things are changing. They affect you. And you can tell when it's affecting you when you're just tireder all of a sudden. How many of you, when it gets dark, are looking for the bed and the pillows? I mean, literally, we are fatigued sooner. And most of it is caused not by the choices we're making, but by the historic encodes that are just raising their hand and pushing their way into our life and causing behavioral patterns that we'd much rather have be different. So what do you do? Well, if you don't have a tool like balancing, you just grind through all those things inside an internal journey. But if you don't have that, and a lot of us don't, and a lot of people out there haven't been through the series, what you do is you just notice, first of all, that the pressures are here. Absolutely notice, and then see, how can I do it differently? What could I do to maybe make this time differently? And the way I would do it is I would do a lot of time in silence, thinking about what's coming up on a given day, or what's coming up on a given holiday or weekend down the road. I would spend some time being silent with those ideas. And if I've had stressful events with my family in the past, I'm going to spend some time in silence with those too. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to be peaceful. I'm going to hang in there with those ideas. I'm just going to work through them in an internal mindset instead of the push out, a million things are happening kind of exhaustion that is an epidemic this time of year. The other thing you might do is you have to notice what's different when you are doing it differently. As you start to do it weller and happier or more peacefully, notice what's doing it, how it's being done differently, how the expectations aren't coming as they might have in the past, and they're truly, truly different now. The other thing you might do is you might get a change partner for the fall. Just get a buddy and say, when you see me going back into old patterns, will you raise your hand and say, man, I've seen you do this for a long time? And then just say, when you see me doing it differently, will you comment on it? Will you say, hey, wow, that's different how you're behaving today? And I'll do the same for you. And you'll get into your fall completely differently. completely differently. The encodes that are causing behaviors are infinite in number, but you have choice and freedom as to how they manifest out into your behaviors. You know, this is a great time of year. It's a magical time of year. And because a lot of programs that we would have to search for in other times of the year in order to change, they're going to come to the front right now during the fall season and the change to winter. Hey, I hope this helps you today. I love you, and I love what you love and who you love. And we'll meet again soon. This is Ross Cook from the Center for Balance and Effective Communication. And I hope you have a lovely evening. You know, I hope you have a lovely day. And Jomo.